You know, when I was a child, I heard the stories of Nakba, but I always thought in the back of my mind that this is something that happened in history. But then as the years went by and as I started becoming a journalist, that is when I realized that Nakba is not something from history. It's a systematic procedure. It's a system built to displace Palestinians from their homes. I'm Nida Ibrahim, a correspondent in the occupied West Bank, Palestine. We thought Nakba was a historical event, but between us, it's continuing and it's being live streamed. I was born around the first Palestinian Intifada, and when I started growing up, it was the Oslo Accords, the peace agreement between the PLO and Israel.
Welcome to this great occasion of history and hope.
And all I was thinking about as a child, that there's going to be peace, we're going to have a state. I remember my dad was telling me soon we're going to have an independent state of our own. Now, after the war on Gaza, we're seeing the same and similar testimonies that we've heard from people in Nakba, and we're still seeing more and more Palestinians being displaced, not once or twice, but even several times. And what's happening in Gaza is not really different from the West Bank. Yes, it's on a smaller scale. When we go to refugee camps like the Nur Shams refugee camp in the north of the occupied West Bank, and we see people collecting their belongings and basically don't know when the Israeli raid is going to happen, when they're going to be asked to move out of their homes. All of this inflicts the generational traumas of Palestinians who have been again and again been forced out of their homes and of their lands. In the beginning of the war, we've seen the Israeli settler attacks increasing drastically. And we visited one Bedouin community that was in Wadi Siq in the occupied West Bank, and they were forced to leave and move out of the lands they've been in for decades. And the family was telling me, I remember Tariq Kaabni, he was saying, you know, I got away with the most precious. Yes, I had to leave my land, but I have my children around me. He says he was scared that the Israeli settlers, with their ongoing attacks, that they're gonna hurt their children. So we met baby Bashar. He was, like 8 months old at the time. He was just crawling on the new lands that they've been displaced to until they find another place. And the father was saying, you know, baby Bashar will grow up. He will learn to walk, but he will also learn that his story is not different than that of his great-grandfather. So those are refugees who have relived Nakba in 1948. And not only did the first generation see it, now fast forward to the third and fourth generations reliving Nakba again and again, being forced out of their homes.